from Tate Fitness, and I'm here just to give my opinion on this video of Rich Piana. And by no means is anything meant to be offensive or anything like that, because I had super high respect for Rich. I've actually got to meet him in person back in 2012. He was always nice to me. He had good things to say about me. So I just want to clear that as reference right away before I get going on this video and what my thoughts are on my transparency, on my beliefs, on what I think, okay?
I've been taking steroids for 25 years. I started when I was 18. The reason I started was I was a competitive bodybuilder and I was willing to do whatever it takes to reach my goal.
This comment right here, we talked about at 18 years old, he started cycling and doing PEDs. In my opinion, it's way too young to start. And even he goes on talking about, you know, if I had things to do differently, I would have done it different. I wouldn't have started so young, etc. So maybe there's some truth to that. You know, I like to believe that there's some truth to that. So, but when you subdue yourself to exogenous hormones that young at 18, when your body's still growing and changing, especially neurologically and physically, I think brain development continues on until you're at least 25, from studies and anecdotal studies and research from what I've came up with. So at 18, you're really messing things up with neurologically, physically, endogenously, obviously, causing suppression at a very early age. So probably not the best idea for anyone out there, you know, to start PEDs at that young of age.
This is not making me look good right here, what I'm saying, but I'm just being honest and I'm being straight and I'm telling people the truth. I'm not telling people to take steroids. I'm not recommending it. In fact, I don't think it's a very good fucking idea to take steroids. You know, if you can stay natural for as long as you can, that's the way to go.
So as he's concluding, you know, that it's not making him look good, yeah, he's always going to give his opinion. He always did. That's what I really respect about this man, is that he was one of the first guys on YouTube and social media back from, you know, 2010, 11, 12, when it first started really booming. He was always transparent. He didn't give a shit. He didn't give a fuck what people thought about him. He just said, hey, this is the way it is. And I have high respects for that, you know. So concluding on to that, he said, if you can stay natural for as long as you can, that would be the best way to do it, so you can see what your body is going to be able to be capable of its own endogenous production before you start the exogenous route. I have a lot of high beliefs on that notion as well.
The way I look at it, a lot of people don't see this, is if you are training 2 to 3 hours a day, you're eating 6 to 10 meals a day, and you do this repeatedly for 20 years, just think about that logically for 1 minute. 20 years of working out every single day, 3 hours a day, eating 6 to 10 meals a day.
Training 3 hours a day, you know, eating 10 meals a day. Okay, my opinion, okay, this is my opinion. Like I said, I like Rich, okay. Way too much overtraining, or you're just not training hard enough. It definitely breaks the principle of high intensity progressive overload. That's like crazy volume. And to do that kind of volume and be natural, you're really going to, you know, create stress on the body with too much stress. I mean, stress is the stimulus to grow for hypertrophy, but this kind of stress is like raising cortisol levels, creatinine levels, etc. It's going to definitely suppress the endogenous system of your own natural hormonal aspect of things, okay? So that being said, most people can't train that hard or that intense for that many hours every single day of the week. So it's way too much, you know, so that negates that principle. Maybe he could do it and he was able to get away with that. But again, he wasn't natural since he was 18. So that being said, you're probably still going to benefit somehow, you know, with all that overtraining. Can you get away with it in the beginning when you first start bodybuilding? I mean, you can get away with anything because your body's not used to anything, right? But that doesn't make it correct. That doesn't make it long term. That doesn't make it sustainable, okay? We're looking at sustainability and recuperation, because I think rest, recovery, sleep, obviously nutrition being super high up there, is just as important as your training. So they need to have a balance and kind of a homeostasis on each other.
How much muscle could you actually put on? Obviously, a lot. And if you see someone that's 250 pounds and they've never taken a steroid in their life, and they said, look, I worked out for 20 years, I've eaten 6 to 10 meals a day, I don't party, I don't do drugs. This is my life. This is what I do. How is that not believable? How is it not believable that person, why is it that person can't achieve that? They can, you can. And the most important link, the most important thing at all is your mind, your mentality. That's the most important thing. You have to believe to achieve. And if you believe that you can accomplish those goals, you will.
The believing to achieve, I do 100% agree with that. Everything's from your mind. You have to envision a goal and make it happen and make it come to fruition and manifest it. I really believe in manifesting things and putting set forward goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, etc. We should all goal plan like that. But that being said, what your mind thinks is what follows, so that's 100% true. Going back on the other notion of if you just train for 20, 30 years, you could be 250 pounds and lean and be huge. Well, it depends on the person. Genetics are a huge thing. Most people can't be ultra huge and big and ripped without exogenous hormones. Again, this is my opinion, okay? Can you build a pretty great physique naturally? Yeah, of course you can. Are you gonna look like somebody that's on exogenous hormones that's working just as hard as you? Most likely not. I don't think so. Again, my opinion. I love Rich. I like what he stands for. I like his positivity. I like what he's trying to put out there in this message. But I don't think it's humanly, achievably possible to have inhuman synthetic hormones running through your body and look just as good as somebody who is going off their own complete endogenous production of hormones and building this kind of great physique. But you can still build a really good physique, don't get me wrong, okay? If you really believe that you can do it, you can definitely do it. But you're not gonna be Mr. Olympia or a top pro, IFBB pro bodybuilder and be in the open division, okay? Or even in the 212s and look like a freak. Have a Ronnie Coleman-esque, Dorian Yates-esque looking physique and be in that condition. So when it comes to dieting down and the pre-contest mode, and you're not using anything exogenous, you're going off your own endogenous production, it's gonna be tough. Highly unlikely to have that kind of look.
I just want people to realize that it's not necessary. It's not mandatory. You can accomplish your goals without it. As long as you're willing to work your ass off and willing to do whatever it takes, you can. Now, is it gonna take longer? Yes. Is it gonna be harder? Yes. And, you have to be willing to do that. Now, if I went back to 18 and I made a different choice and I decided not to take steroids, I would not have reached the size I did as quick as I had, but I feel inevitably over the 33 years that I've been training that I would be the same size I am now. And I'm just talking the logic.
Okay, so he said, quote unquote, I'd be just as big as I am now if I trained for 30 years and look exactly like this if I've never taken anything exogenous or any kind of anabolic or androgenic steroid in his life. Well, definitely false, okay? True, you can do whatever you can and basically look great. Again, going back on that last statement, you can have a great physique without ever taking, exogenous hormones or PEDs, but I don't think Rich Piana, in my opinion, okay, I love this guy, so I don't want people getting the wrong message here, but there's no way he'd look like that and be that kind of freakish as far as like his arms and physique development as far as symmetry goes, and have that kind of stature if he stayed natural that whole time. He wouldn't be half that big, okay? My opinion. And I guarantee a lot of people would be, listening to me right now and going, yes, you're correct, Troy. There's no way humanly possible this guy can look like this, being all natural. I don't care if you train 40 years. I mean, how long are you gonna train? Until you're 50, from 10 years old? Is that gonna make you that much bigger? You're gonna max out and camp out at a certain level, and you're not gonna exceed that level without taking the exogenous route. I'm sorry, that's just plain and simple, and that's just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, have a great day, and talk to you guys soon.